the truth, where the truth shall set you free by any means necessary. Soon as you come in, please hit that like button, hit that like button, hit that share button, hit that subscribe button. Tell a friend that I'm on right now. Of course, I'm definitely gonna give you the truth. I'm not gonna give you no lies, especially if it got to deal with myself. I'm gonna always give you the truth. You may judge me, you may not. It's all about how you see it, you know. The things I say could definitely liberate you mentally, physically, depending on your situation. You could be incarcerated, and I could say something that could strike a candlelight in your head where you could go to law library and you could get yourself home. Okay, I see something new that's on YouTube. They got me as a top fans. They got top fans on here, like with a crown. They gave me a crown. Oh, okay. Seems like I'm moving up in the world. Check me out. But I'm gonna give it a few, to some people log on. Of course, we definitely gonna touch up on the Diddy case a little bit, bring y'all up to speed on that. And I'm definitely gonna get into some more stuff, things that's been going on in society that just been having me laughing lately. Hold on a second, trying to get some stuff up. But like I said, we're gonna wait till some people tune in. Hit that like button as soon as you come in. Hit that share button. Hold on here. I hope everyone been having a good day. I've been having a blast here for the knowledge piece. I've been having a blast, been having a good day. Actually been having a good couple of weeks. So I'm gonna wait, like I said, I'm gonna wait a minute. We're gonna just matter of fact, let me just touch on some more things before we get into the Diddy case. You see my shirt, 400 strong community. This is my man, Mr. 400, aka Uptown. Used to be Damu. Actually, I won't even say used to be. He's still Damu, but he do things in a more positive light. I met the brother in 1996. No, actually, early 1997 in Auburn. We was both banging. We was out of our minds. Young kids in our early 20s, mid 20s. Thank you here for the knowledge. Running around, gang banging, cutting, stabbing people. We getting into our own mix with the officers. Key block. We was banging. We was doing what we was doing. And it was funny because I was hanging out with a couple of my bros, and we was in our clubhouse, and we was just chilling. And I looked at him. I was like, yo, this dude look kind of weird. It was the way he presented himself, because he had the shaved head, he had the braids, but he was older. And I'm like, he looking like he a young dude, but he had this shirt on. So when he stepped to the side, I seen that scar on his face. Sometimes a scar will bring a feature out in a brother, and it brought his feature out. And I was like, yo, he look real familiar. So I asked one of the dudes that was cool with me. I said, yo, is that Mr. 400? And he was like, yeah. I was like, oh, man. So I pulled him to the side like, yo, you don't know who it is? He was like, nah, I had to take off my glasses. I had to baldy because back then I had long dreads down to my back. And so, I covered the beard. So he was like, yo, Buck Wow? I was like, yeah. So, we was like, oh, we had to take pictures because it's been like, over 25 years since we seen each other, that at that time we didn't have no grades. We was young kids. So, we chopped it up, and he started telling me that he was part of a nonprofit organization. He do work for the community because he felt that he spent so much time in his life destroying the community, helping destroy the community. So now that he got a lot of knowledge and he got a lot of leeway and open doors with other people in society, he felt the need to come back to society and help rebuild what he tried to destroy unconsciously. And it, it struck a chord to me because I was like, yo, I was feeling that because, we come from the same background. And I was like, yo, you won't believe that I'm actually out here, on doing YouTube contests, and I speak a lot of truth, and I try to educate the people, mentally from what I try to destroy mentally. We read the 48 Laws of Power, Machiavelli, The Art of War, and we thinking that we using it for good, but we using it for wickedness, and we manipulate one another that's close to us, people that's close to us, people we call our brothers, our sisters, our family, and we destroy one another unconsciously because it was used against us. So he took a positive path, and I was like, yo, I want to get with you and do some positive things, do some community work. I went on this YouTube. His YouTube is 400 strong for the community. That's his name, Mr. 400. And, he's not lying. It's on his Instagram. He's giving out food. The other day, we was having a barbecue, an annual barbecue in Seaview Park. And he was like, yo, he called me Buck still, He's like, yo, Buck, I got some free food and stuff that's in my van. I got a lot of watermelons, a lot of pears, a lot of apples. I got a lot of potatoes. Yo, you could give them out to the people out here, although it was a cookout already. But even though they spent their hard-earned money and they was buying food and they was giving out food to people in our so-called, I won't say so-called, but our community that in that park, he felt the need that, take some of that food and take it back home. Some people, you don't know their situation. They may be down and out and too proud to beg. They don't want people to know their business. And I was like, yo, sure, why not? You know what I'm saying? Give it back. And even though the people that didn't take it, we left it there, hoping that when people come clean up the park or people walk by in the morning and they see it, they will grab it, you know what I'm saying, and feed their family. Like I said, you don't know what people is going through. Some people will go through the garbage to see if they can find some fruits or some clean food. Well, I won't say clean food, because it's in the garbage, but some food that's eatable, able to survive, and they will clean it. I remember hearing the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. He said back in the 50s, everything he was doing for the Nation of Islam, he was taking his finances and he was giving it to the nation. And his wife brought him in the nation because his wife joined the nation first. And he said it was one time that he didn't have any food. And, he was too proud to beg. And he didn't want to ask anybody in the nation for any donation or anything because he didn't want anybody in his business because he felt he was the man of the house. Back then it's a different time to now. Now dudes want to live off females. You know what I'm saying? Me personally, I feel the same way. Like, I don't want to live off a female. I'm too proud to beg. So the brother said, yo, he was like, yo, it was times he went in the garbage to see if he could find some fruits and vegetables, something that he can use to feed his family. And I was just like, wow. And then he'll take it home and his wife will wash it off and they will make dinner. And I was just like, I'm looking at this brother in his fancy suit and he got a whole nation behind him. And he's telling me that he, at one point in time, he was digging in the garbage to eat. I was like, wow, that's a hell of a sacrifice. So, this brother, he took it upon himself to put this nonprofit organization on his back and to do better, for his community. I know a lot of brothers that's out there. Hood Love TV, Mikey B, shout out. We locked in a lot of brothers that's coming home from the penitentiary and they want to do something good, but they don't have the finances to do something good for their people and their community, where they go and get a nonprofit organization together to help the people. And even though some people may seem like it's a hustle, because you get a federal kickback or whatever, they take that kickback and they do something positive for their community. Because guess what? Ain't nobody else going to do it for us but us. You know what I'm saying? So I decided to wear this shirt, represent the brother, represent his community, service his nonprofit organization, and something I don't want to be a part of. You know what I'm saying? To do something positive for my people. But let's get right into it because we here for the Diddy, right? Yo, man. So, like I said in my last content, Diddy was found now guilty. And, a lot of people, they felt when they saw on TV, especially the trolls, the anti-Diddy trolls, they were seeing that he can get the match for each count. They was like, oh, Diddy's going to get 20 years max for this, and he's going to get he's going to get 10 years for this count and 10 years for the other count. He's going to get the match. It don't work like that. It don't work like that in a penitentiary. It don't work like that in the feds. No, I haven't been in the feds, but I have the feds guidelines in front of me. It's similar to the state. You get locked up. It's your first time. You get released on your own recognition, which is we call a R&R, because you haven't been locked up before. And it depends on the charge. You don't really get R&R for murder cases, but you definitely get R&R for attempted murder cases. You get R&R for assault cases. So it depends. It depends on the crime, and it depends on your history. Tupac, for example, perfect example. He got locked up for rape. This was his first time being arrested and being convicted of a crime. Let me hear what I said. First time being arrested and convicted for a crime. He was arrested. Prior to that, we know he shot two undercover, off-duty officers. He didn't know they were off-duty. I'm not gonna say that he probably wouldn't have a return fire when they shot at him. His life was in danger. But moving right along, he was convicted of a rape charge, and he was given a 1 to 3. It was his first time. He could have got probation for that. Some people got probation for that. So Diddy case, he's not gonna get 20 years max. Stop listening to what's her name? Tisa Tells, who's always lying, and she actually said the other day that being that Diddy was found guilty of the 2 counts of the Mann Act of transporting individuals for prostitution across state lines, it opens the door in his civil case for people to get money from him based on those charges. No, those people was involved in the freak-offs. Those people, you know what I'm saying? Those people got caught lying, and they're going to get caught lying again, because as soon as you go through a civil case and you go through trial, guess what? All those texts that was mentioned in the federal case, it's going to come up in the civil case. You're going to get caught lying. And now that's perjury. That's going to be grounds for the civil case to get dismissed. You know what I'm saying? So, and a lot of people want you to believe that Diddy is going through some crazy time in the federal penitentiary. A lot of y'all was happy that he didn't get bail and he returned to the feds for July 4th, and you felt like, yeah, he's not home for the holiday. First and foremost, in 1776, Black people were still in slavery. Independence Day had nothing to do with you. I know you out there enjoying the fireworks that you had and everything like that, but it has nothing to do with you. Independence Day was designed for the white Americans in this country to break away from the British in Civil War. In the American Revolution. They wanted their own freedom from the British, and they went to war with the British, and they got the British out of this country. And that's where Independence Day came from. And they actually made it a holiday, I think somewhere in the early 1900s, but they won the American Revolution in 1776. And during that time, we was picking cotton. Our women were still getting raped. We were still getting sold. Our babies were still getting sold. So this has nothing to do with you. So P. Diddy going back to prison, jail, not prison, because he's not doing time like that. It has no really effect on him when it comes to a cultural level, but it may make him feel a way, because a lot of us are designed to believe that these holidays has something to do with us, and we out there buying fireworks and celebrating the holiday. Further of all, a lot of us don't even care about the holiday. We just feel the holiday just come through, and we want to have a cookout, and we want to have our fireworks. One thing about Black people that I noticed, that we take something negative and we make it into positive. Just like the N-word. We took that and we made it into something positive, to the point even white people call themselves that. Check that out. You know what I'm saying? So I don't want you to think that he went back into federal custody and he didn't get bail and he's miserable. He's a billionaire. Okay? He's a billionaire. Let me tell you how this prison thing works. Because I was in prison. When you have money and you have a famous street name, When you enter the prison, now we talking about people that's not even on Diddy level. We talking about people that has no money nowhere near Diddy. When they enter the prison, and all the street dudes from around their way or just in general hear about this dude who coming through, they want to be up under him because they want to be recognized. As soon as you walk in, yo, what's up, man? Yo, everything good? Yo, we here for you. Yo, you need some soap, you need some this, you need that. And they bless you because they know your reputation and they want to be up under your reputation. They know you was getting money in the streets. They know you got money. So when you come through, you can help them. You could put them on. You could get them to live comfortable in prison. So imagine when a billionaire come through. Man, they had somebody that came home and said people was in there jealous of each other and fighting who's going to make up Diddy bed. Don't believe that Diddy is closed away and he has no communication. And listen, you get 1 hour rec, you're going to be talking to people. You're going to be talking to CEOs. You think CEOs ain't coming in there showing Diddy no love, talking about, yo, I got some fried chicken, Diddy. Yo, you want some of this? Yo, Diddy, yo, my wife made this, man. You want some of this? There's some CEOs that's looking out for him, probably giving him extra calls. You don't know. They're not going to tell you you're not there. You're not there. Only they know. How I know? Because they do it in the state. CEOs come, yo, listen, I got a cigarette. You want to start cleaning up? Yo, I got a pack of cigarettes. Do you want to clean my bubble? Yo, you want to stay out longer? And this is what they do. So imagine Diddy, a billionaire. Them officers is looking, they looking for at the future. Like, what? Diddy here? I got to watch Diddy? Yo, Diddy, you good? Yo, I just finished some magazines, man. You know, they talking about you want the magazines. You want something to read? Yeah, let me get the magazines. What you got? Got People magazines. You got the XXL. You got the Soul. Let me get that. Yeah. Yo, Diddy, yo, we gonna play some music. We gonna just have it on so we can't bring it to your cell so you can just listen to. Or maybe he do got a radio on his cell. Because there been plenty of times I look on YouTube, you got these dudes in federal penitentiary with phones in their cell. They got cell phones in their cell. So you think Diddy ain't got a cell phone? He's Diddy. He can't be live. He can't be on making FaceTimes and all that, because guess what? It's gonna go viral. They're gonna say he smuggled something. He gonna get in trouble. They might give him something where it supersedes indictment. So he gotta play it cool. Don't think he ain't making no phone calls. Don't think he ain't reaching out to certain people. Trust and believe, they looking out for Diddy. They feeding Diddy. Diddy in there eating oxtails. He eating better than some people that's eating out here. Now, you laugh at his gray hair, of course. He can't come out a certain way because they got supervisors. They gonna want to know how this man hair turned from this color to that color. Or maybe not. Because you got people in the penitentiary, they dye their hair with just funny materials and ingredients that you won't believe. For example, you got homosexuals that use the Kool-Aid, the powdered Kool-Aid, the cherry Kool-Aid, and they mix it and they use it as lipstick. They go to medication and the doctors prescribe them hormones. They getting breasts in prison. They promote homosexuality to the point they got razors, they shave their legs, they do squats, and they put on poom shorts, and you actually think it's a female walking the yard. I remember when I first was in a maximum security prison and I went to the yard, I swear to God, this was a female. She had on, well, he had on some white tight jeans and his butt, like he was doing some serious squats. I mean, I'm calling it like I see it. Doesn't make I'm gay. If you want to say pause, however that is, I don't say pause. I'm too old for that. I ain't got time for that. But I look like, wait a minute, I had to double take, like, wait a minute, that's a female? But it's a guy. This is their practice, you know? So Diddy, you know, as we heard, the prosecutors was crying. They were upset that they lost the case. And a lot of you were saying, yo, he's going to get 10 years. Each count, he's going to get 20 years. That's not going to happen. Why you think Diddy was so happy? And he knelt down by the chair and he prayed and he was like, thank God. Let me tell you what look, you saying he get 20 years. Why you think the prosecutors say, listen, they was going for 41 months to 61 months, or excuse me, 41 months to 51 months. Why they didn't say 10? That's like 4 to 5 years. They saying 4 to 5 years, but you chose saying, yo, Diddy gonna get 20 years. Don't you think that you're off a bit? Don't you should ask yourself, why is the prosecutors asking for that much time? Let me tell you why, right? Diddy got 10 months in, right? So the step-by-step breakdown, this is the federal guideline. 85% rule. This is an 85% rule. Good conduct time. Federal inmates typically serve 85% of their sentence if they follow the rules. 85% of 51 months. Let's say the judge decides to give Diddy 51 months. They agree to what the prosecutors want, right? 51 months, 85% is 43.35 months. That's about 3 years and 7.5 or 7.5 months. Mind you, he got 10 months in, so that counts, right? 3 years. This is why the prosecutors is crying. They went through all of this for this, right? Number 2, the First Step Act and earned time credits. Now he get to earn a time cut, right? Under the First Step Act, eligible inmates can earn up to 12 months off VA programs and another 12 months in a halfway house or home confinement. If Diddy qualifies, which he is, that could subtract up to 1 year from prison time and give him up to 1 year in home. 3 years, and then he could give back 1 year. Plus, he got 10 months in. Are you listening to me? All right. Check this out. So that would equal 43 months, which is about 43 to 5 months, excuse me, equal about 4.5 years. With First Step, 27 to 30 months. So that's about 2 years or 2.5 years. That's what they call 2.25 between 2.5 years. So he could get anywhere from 2 to 5 years. And they're not even gonna give him 5 years. Because that's what they offer. That's what the prosecutors offering him already. 5 years. And he already served 10 months, which means he could be home in 17 months to 20 months. So all Diddy could really get right now, right, is 2 years. That's the most. That's the most he could get. And I think, to be honest, I think the judge is going to give him extra 2 years to do, due to the fact, like, he really beat, this is like a big smack in the face. You don't know how this makes the government feel. I'm talking about not just the prosecutor, I'm talking about the United States. Diddy went up against the United States government. People that go up against the United States government like that be like revolutionaries and cartel leaders and stuff like that. Not no hip hop moguls, but he's not the only one. You had Irv Gotti. They went up against the United States government and they beat the RICO. But of course, nobody really knew about that case like that because it wasn't really high profile, because they really didn't want Irv Gotti, the CEO of Murder Inc. They just got caught up in an indictment with Supreme from the Supreme team, and they wanted Irv Gotti and them to snitch on Supreme. So what Irv Gotti and them did was separate their cases, because they like, yo, listen, what you got with him is criminal charges. We run an entertainment business. We down with Live Cohen, Def Jam, and we around Russell Simmons. Like, we don't have anything to do this. Yeah, we rap Murder Inc., but we ain't murdering no. We out here performing. We out here with Ashanti. What's up, Monica? Hello, how you doing? What's going on? Hope you having a good day. I remember tell your son I said, what's up? So the government now is sent a letter. Diddy's lawyers and the prosecutor, they sent a joint letter saying to Judge Samaritan, United States versus Combs, the parties have met, prosecutors and the defense have met and conferred and have agreed to the following schedules for sentencing, post-verdict motions, and submission of offense conduct to the probation office. For sentencing, the parties proposed a court's original date of October 3rd, 2025. They were trying to get it earlier. but because they want to get Diddy out. But you know, it didn't work like that. For October 3rd, 2025, the defense proposes that the probation office provide the parties with pre-sentence investigation report. What does that mean? What that means is when you take a plea, right? Before you get sentenced, you go before a probation officer for the court. It's a pre-investigation report into your background. So what does P. Diddy do? He does a lot of charity work for people. He's been in churches with people. Mayor Adams then gave him the key to the city. He's a big hip hop mogul. He's a big influencer. He's a big businessman. He has a lot of money and a lot of connections. He has done a lot of good. Some people say he did a lot of bad. I mean, to each his own, and your own thoughts on that. But they're not going for the Gene Deal criticism. They're going about facts, what they can prove, what's on paper. So they already know this is his first offense. This is what he did. He does nothing else. This is his first time ever, and he in his 50s. Monica said, yes, I am, and will do. Okay. You know what I'm saying? And he in his 50s. Like, your first time catching a case in your 50s. Woo, man, living in New York City, it's a hell of a thing. You know what I'm saying? That's a hell of a thing. Or just being around the world, you know. And on before August 29, 25, that the defense objections to the PSR be filed on or before September 5th, 2025. That the government objections to the PSR be filed on or before September 12, 2025. That the probation office disclosed their final PSR on September 18, 2025. That the defense sentencing memorandum be filed on or before September 19, 2025, and that the government sentencing memorandum be filed on September 26, 2025. The government and the probation officer do not object to the schedule, which means whatever they feel they want Diddy to have, they have to bring it up into the probation. Whatever the lawyers put into the reports, they have a right to object to it. You know, this is this pre-sentencing reports, and when the judge gets it, he makes his own decision, and then he reads it on file what he has in facts. He ain't got no criminal history, so it's not going to be a big booklet for P. Diddy. He going to see this little bit of thing, and he going to be like, listen, what I'm going to do with this man? Here for the knowledge said that's still too long. They need to let him out. Yeah, you're right. That is too long. But you know what? It's a political thing too. Because P. Diddy went against a powerful liquor company who I believe set this all up with Cassie, you know, and they try to take him down. They didn't really have anything. So I think they set this all up to destroy his character. You know what I'm saying? That's what they wanted to do. They wanted to destroy his character, which I don't think they really did they didn't do any damage, because all we heard was a bunch of freak offs and a man who you could consider a drug addict. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think they really destroyed his character. The only thing they really had on this man, really, that everybody kept bringing up was the tape. You know what I'm saying? And you know, it's a two-way street with that. You know, I don't really got to talk about the motion no more. Matter of fact, let me finish it up before I get into what I'm gonna say. For the post-verdict motions, the parties proposed that the defense file any post-verdict motions on or before July 30th, 2025, and that the government respond on August 20th, 2025. Finally, the government requests that it be permitted to submit the summary of the offense conduct on before July 11, 2025, and the defense does not object. We appreciate the court's decision. What does that mean? They don't object to anything. Whatever they don't, Diddy deny bail, Diddy like, I'm cool with that. I don't object. I stay here all year. This is what it is. You know why? Because he beat the RICO. He got his life back. They was getting ready to take his life, his business for his children, or any money that his children that he put into their name after 2009, they was going to destroy his whole legacy. This was more deeper than just P. Diddy. You know what I'm saying? And he won that back. He like, yo, I'm cool. I sit here. You do what you gonna do, because you can't give me too much. And by that time, he in there 10 months, he kind of got a little used to it. He like, man, listen, what's 2 more years? But who knows? The judge might say, yo, time served, probation, and let him out. But this is what I wanted to get at. Where me and my wife was talking, and we was like, yo, the stigma is crazy, right? A lot of you females say that what Diddy did to Cassie in that hall, or in that car, they were in a hall with the domestic dispute, right? A lot of you say, yo, that was wrong. What he did, that was foul. And you feel that he should be in jail forever based on that, right? All right, let me ask you something. When you saw that tape with Diddy and what he did to Cassie, you felt that he was wrong? Some of you. Well, I felt he was wrong too. You felt that he should go to prison for life because of what he did, and you felt that it was abuse, right? Okay. Then why didn't you think like that when it came to Solange and Jay-Z? We saw that on that went viral everywhere. He was in the elevator. He didn't strike her. He didn't say nothing to her. She went on an attack mode and started kicking him worse than a soccer ball. She was trying to kick him all in the face, and he was blocking it. Now, what kind of woman is Beyonce standing there watching her sister assault her husband? First and foremost, I understand that's your sister. But when you get married and you have kids, that's your family. You stood there and you watch your husband get assaulted by your sister. Jay-Z had all right to knock her against the wall. Me personally, I ain't gonna speak my mom, but my mama and my pops always raised me. Anybody feel the need to put their hands on you, you put your hands on them in self-defense. I don't care who you are. Because if you feel like a guy shouldn't put his hands on a woman because you feel you can beat her, then why should she put her hands on a man? Why? Because she's a woman? There's a lot of women in jail right now for killing their husbands and boyfriends. And a lot of them was abused and never did nothing. It should be the same way. What? What's going on? Somebody coming? Gonna hear my dogs? See, they protect me. They know somebody's coming from upstairs, from downstairs. That means somebody downstairs in the door. They heard it. Man, they got some keen ears. I love my dogs. Calm down. I'm on point. We on point. We got this sold up. You know? So now Diddy's locked up and he's waiting for sentencing. And I believe they're gonna give him 2 years. I believe they're gonna give him 2 years, right? An extra 2 years, they're gonna give him like 4 years. And they're gonna say you got 2 years to do. Now here's the thing. Diddy is not going to any penitentiary that you hear about or seen in the movies. Yeah, I'm well protected. I got my American bully. They let me know what's on the scene. Yo, it's crazy because when I walk the streets with my bully, every time she gets in there somewhere, she bark. I was like, why is she always barking? I had to really check this out and study. It's because she's protecting you and letting you know that someone is close by. And if you get too close, she's intimidating to back you up. That's just a bully. She protects her family. American bullies are not aggressive dogs. They're highly protected. They protect their home. Like I was saying, so Diddy, he's not going to be with the booty bandits. Don't think he's going to be somewhere where he's going to be in a 2-man cell with King Dingaling, some guy named King Dingaling or Big Barry White. You know what I'm saying? And y'all all putting these posters up like he got the baby oil and he gonna be in there. No, he's gonna be going to a spot like Martha Stewart. You forgot about Martha? You know, she had the inside trading. She was cheating and stealing money with the rich, and she stole over a couple of hundreds of millions, and they gave her 1 year. You do a robbery in a store at gunpoint, you get 10 years. Martha steal a couple of hundred millions, and she get 1 year. You tell me something ain't wrong with this system. So he's gonna be in a jail, a prison like Martha, where he's gonna be cutting the grass, probably mowing the lawn. He's gonna be kicked up getting his nails done. And 2 years is gonna go fast for him. Because guess what? He's still gonna do 85% of that 2 years. He ain't even gonna do the full 2 years. Still gonna do like 15 months. He's still gonna get out early. Now everybody talking about, oh, what happens when he get home? What's gonna happen to Cassie? Ain't nothing gonna happen to Cassie. Hit that like button, hit that like button, hit that share button, please. You know why nothing is gonna happen to Cassie? Because Cassie was the only one in this trial that benefited out of everybody. She got 30 million, baby. 30 million. So don't tell me she's a victim. You say, oh, because she was 19 when she met Puffy. No, she got involved in Puffy when she was 21. She was with Ryan Leslie when she was 19. So what, at 19, 21, you could be manipulated to do certain things? You say that's unfair because she was around the older men? What about the American government? When they want to hire people in the hood, they put their little Marine office right in the ghetto to go get these 18-year-olds who just graduated, who don't know from their right to their left, and they manipulate them to go to war behind someone that's sitting behind a desk that's white, that's oppressing people in another country like Iran or Palestine, and they get them to go to war over a lie, and they sit behind the desk and watch your child get murdered. Is that manipulation? What happens when you commit a crime at 18 and they charge you as an adult, but you're not even 21? That's manipulation? Come on, don't tell me about don't tell me about how old she was. She knew exactly what she was doing. Puffy was just a main freak. That's what he was doing. Puffy gonna, he gonna come home and he's still gonna have his stuff. Yo, the other day I was riding. I was on my motorcycle. I'm riding, right? This was the day. No, this was the next day, right? First of all, when he beat the charges, the main charges, and he was found guilty of the Mann Act, which is the prostitution, transporting prostitution against state line, which is real funny, right? If they was prostitutes, because the escorts saying they wasn't prostitutes. The escorts got on the stand and they said, I am not a prostitute, I am an escort. These were government officials used to go on dates, and this is what musicians or R&B stars or any kind of celebrity they used to go on the red carpet. They had this beautiful woman. You don't even know that she's an escort, right? Give me a second. I lost my train of thought. Yeah, I'm sorry. I lost my train of thought. I'm going to get back to it. I'm going to lose my train of thought. Okay. Here we go. If they were prostitutes, right? Then why wasn't the pimp arrested? Come on, talk to me. Talk back to me. Y'all all right? Where the pimp's at? If he was arrested for transporting a prostitute across state line, why wasn't the pimp arrested? They all got on the stand and said what company they worked for. They said, I work for an independent company. You contact the company. You look to the portfolio. You pick who you want. And then you pay the company. That's just the pimp. And they get a percentage and they call the escort and the escort meets you, or they give you the number and you have whatever conversation you have. And then as Diddy, well, not Diddy, Cassie, because not one of them said, Diddy called me up. They said Cassie called me up. And Cassie told me we're playing the tape. And Cassie sent me the money to come over there. And Cassie got punished by the Punisher. Yo, his name is going viral. His name is going viral. But look, why that company is not brought up on charges? Do you know right now that company is still in effect doing the same thing right now? They're selling escorts to go from state to state to have fun, whether it's to sell their bodies or not. And it's still thriving. How come they wasn't on the stand? How come they didn't get immunity? See, you see the technology? Now, like I said, I was riding my bike. Well, when Diddy got, it was funny because when he got found out guilty, people was outside the courthouse spraying baby all over them, and they was, yo, you gotta laugh at this. You gotta laugh at this, right? You gotta laugh at this. And then the next day, I'm riding my motorcycle because I have a Harley Davidson. So I got music on my bike. You know what I'm saying? That's right. I got music on my bike. You know what I'm saying? I don't need no AirPods. You know, I be jamming on my bike. And I'm listening to Hot 97. Then I cut my bike off. You know, I didn't put the Bluetooth on. You know, I got some technical difficulties on that, you know. But so I had the radio on. And it was on Power 105. No, not Hot 97. It was on Power 105. Excuse me. And they was playing Diddy back to back. Now, do you know Diddy makes money off of that? It's his songs. They wasn't playing no songs off a Biggie album and Total album. They was playing all Diddy songs off a Diddy album, which means he got all the masters in the publisher right, which means every time they played his song, he got a check. And then I went from Power 105 to Hot 97, and they was playing Diddy. They had a Diddy marathon. He was getting money. He already got money in jail. He got about $6 million just selling his jet. No, renting his house, his mansion that he took off the market. And then he got like another $9 million of renting his jet out. He ain't losing no money. All the money he paid his lawyers, he got it back. Talk to me. He got it back. Yo, he's a hustler. Yo, man, this dude is a hustler. And that was so funny that when we first heard this case, right? I ain't gonna lie, I was like, yo, it's over for Diddy. I was like, oh, all the homosexual things is gonna come out. All the things that he did that people were saying that he was putting people to sleep with the drugs is gonna come out. But then when the case started happening, I seen all women taking a stand. Some of the women look better than you females. Some of the women look better than the females that some of you guys have. I know you jealous. I know you jealous. You know what I'm saying? Even 50 had a whole lot to say. Meanwhile, Diddy ain't say nothing, but he had his baby mother having a mouth full of conversations. Now 50 mad, 50 all over. 50 all over his Instagram. He got, man, he trolling Diddy like crazy. He been trolling Diddy for years, and Diddy ain't really paying him no mind. I mean, we heard through the testimony that he said he wanted to grab guns and all this and come. That's what people say. I don't think a billionaire had time to pay attention to 50 Cent. I know I wouldn't, because I'd be like this at the end of the day. I got your baby moms. Yo, go put that little man and give him to the nanny and come over here. We're gonna call something and have a freak off. Who got the last laugh? And he beat the government. And guess what? We ain't hear about no homosexuality in none of his case. You ain't hear about him putting his finger in no male rectum. We ain't hear about him in the tub with no male. Yeah, we heard about Cassius with the Punisher and he ejaculated on her, and then she came with the semen on him. And I think she rubbed it around Diddy nipples or something like that. Some of you call it gay, whatever. I don't know. I don't know what to call that. I really don't. whether you want to call it bisexual. I don't call that gay because gay people do not indulge with women. Gay people or men engage with gay men, and gay females, lesbians, deal with women only. That's what they say. But in the lifestyle that I live, the LS lifestyle, the swinger lifestyle, they say what they want. They be gay today and they be bi tomorrow. They be something at daytime and they be out something at night outside the door where you can't see them. I know because I seen that life. I seen lesbians come to a party, at a swinger party, and say they lesbians. And yet they came to get a stiff on all night. They don't want no toy. Because they tell you the toy is not like the real one. I seen a movie, matter of fact, called The Lesbian Homie. Check it out on YouTube. It's a very good, it was so good. I watched the whole series, right? It's called The Lesbian Homie. And they had women in there that was all supposed to be lesbians. And a woman told the sister, she said, yo, how you know you lesbian? She said, yo, because I like girls. She was like, yeah, but how do you know? Have you ever been with a man? She was like, nah. She was like, well, how you know? You have to know by being with a man, because most lesbians, before they turn into lesbians, they've been with men before. So they already know what they like. They like, I don't want that. I want this. And they was like, yo, I've been with men before. After that, I already figured out what I want. I want to be with a woman. And it was one female. She was like, yo, all right, well, I'm going to take a try because I've never been with a man. As soon as homeboy entered her, she was like, oh, and she had a tear come down her eye. And then for a couple of months, she was with homie. She became bi. I mean, at the end of the series, I mean, you know, she went on her way, but all the women that was around her kept going on homeboy because they kept hearing about his baseball bat and he was making it happen. This is how it happens in a lifestyle. Now, Diddy, he would say that he was a swinger because you heard of the freak offs. Now, let me tell you, vanilla people out there, something. I said in a couple of my contents that Diddy was part of the swinger life, right? I'm going to say, I don't know, because I never heard that they had a party with a bunch of people having sex. This is what we kept hearing from Jaguar White, who strangely been quiet lately. Haven't you noticed? She been real quiet. I mean, Gene Deal still talking. He upset that Diddy beat the case. He's upset that he wasn't even called as a witness. Nobody wants to hear about you gossiping. Nobody want to hear about that. But we haven't heard Diddy having any swinger parties or attending swinger parties. When you attend a swinger party, you go to a party where there's a group of people that's like-minded. You may have couples, you may have singles, which is male or female, and they come to hang out and they want to catch the vibe to see if anybody sparks their interest, and they may have some sexual intercourse there, or they may exchange numbers and go out and have it somewhere else at a private session. This is how swinger parties go. What Diddy was having, which they said freak on, I don't know. Well, then again, I'm going to say I do know because Cassie said that's what Diddy called it. They had Texas where they said they called it freak off. That's not a freak off. I mean, that's not a swinger party. That's what Diddy called it, a freak off. That's a threesome. That's a threesome with two guys and a female. As a matter of fact, that's not even a threesome because after Cassie or any other female engaged with another male, he never joined. He was a voyager. He got excited by watching live porn. You ever watch porn? You ever masturbated with? Don't stop lying. You ain't never See, we trying to be real. Just the lethal truth here. You ain't never masturbate. Make love to yourself while watching porn. Come on now. That's the same thing. Except he's doing it in live version. He has a male, which they call a bull. I won't even call it a bull because a bull, you engage with the women in a sexual intercourse with another male. That's what the bull is called over for. He's a male bull because cows are females. So you got to understand the language of this lifestyle. He never interacted with them. He just watched them and, he enjoyed himself. Once he was done, he gave up an envelope or she gave an envelope as a tip and they said, yo, get out. and that dude left, and then he went at it with Cassie, and that turned him on, and they have all fun all night because now he's on ecstasy, he's on ketamine, he's sniffing cocaine. Diddy is blasted. And they also said a lot of people decided to keep him high all the time. Can you imagine being around a millionaire, a billionaire that's high all the time off of ecstasy and Molly and cocaine? Man, you are so goddamn friendly. You friendly. Yo, what's your rent? 5,000? Yo, that ain't nothing. Yo, pass me my pouch, because they say he always walked around with 10,000. Yo, here, take this. Every time they have fun with a escort, he'll tip them like 1,500, 3,000. Yo, take that. You good, man. And they will come back. They was excited to come back, and they was getting tips. Nobody was giving them tips like that. Nobody was taking them in Trump Plaza. He was having fun. See, that's a freak off. That's not a swinger party. For you vanillas out there, they was all there running through the social media talking about, oh, Diddy's a swinger and all that. Real swingers know that he was not doing anything in the swinger activity when it comes to those sexual activities. Maybe he was doing it in private sessions, because a lot of people used to say he ain't no party like a Diddy party. Yeah, they said no party was like a Diddy party. And they said when you wanted to come to a Diddy party, you had to pay $1 million. That's how lit his parties was. Now, we don't know what entitles $1 million. We don't know when it entitles $1 million in a party. Because if I'm paying $1 million in a party, that means you got a lot of escorts at the house. You got a lot of male escorts at the house. You got a mansion. Nobody's talking about the parties, but all these celebrities been at the parties. See, that's the next thing. A lot of people want to be your friend. Diddy ain't had no friends, or maybe he did, you know, because sometimes when you're in that certain type of league and that type of lifestyle, and what I mean lifestyle, not just sexual lifestyle, I'm talking about in the entertainment world, where you have to put up a persona for the image when you work for white people, because all of them, including Diddy, was working for white people, and they had to put up an image if you want to get money with them. Listen, Negro, we need you to do this and we need you to do that. Perfect example. I just found out most of everything that DJ Khaled does, he works for Jewish people. They ask him, he's Palestinian. When you say free Palestine, he goes like this. And he go his way. He don't say nothing because he works for Jews. But he's Palestinian. I don't even hear him say Assalamu alaikum. You? But he want to wear a chain that says Allah the greatest. I don't even see him wear that no more. We the best. Got to put up a persona. So all these so-called friends that he have, Jay-Z, all of them been at his parties. Then you got this rat, Usher. He up there talking about, yo, I was at a Diddy party and I was 13 and I was seeing things that I shouldn't see. So why you ain't leave? Because you was a little horny 13-year-old and you probably was getting your freak on too. I mean, I was 13, I was watching porn. So if I'm over there and I'm with the celebrities that I admire, and somebody like, yo, look so low, man, you want to go up in that room? I'm going. I'm horny as hell. 13, you probably as a young boy, a young teenager, you starting to have sperm come out now. Now your sex drive is hard. It's hard. Matter of fact, you waking up with hard-ons. You know, when you get my age, you don't do that no more. You don't wake up with that. You know what I'm saying? You gotta like listen. You gotta give me some attention for me to wake up. You know, I can't say certain things because I don't want them to strike my channel. But at that day, 13 years old, he was doing that. And why are you talking about it now? You in your 40s, you now talking about it? Come on, man. Sit down. Just want some attention. You know what I'm saying? So Diddy, man, and check it out. Not only we heard him doing all this with the women, bad women, but not only we didn't hear no homosexual activity, all that you heard, you didn't hear it in the court. But all the women, you had all these guys talking about it, But the women that was with him every single day of his life never said that he did anything of a homosexual. I mean, as a homosexual man and dealing with any homosexual activity. Talk back to me. Am I lying? Never heard it. Never heard it. Not only this, when it comes to the entertainment, man, he's the boss of all bosses and the king. I give him his respect. You know why? He ain't snitch on nobody. Y'all was out there talking about, yo, oh, he going down. Wait, he gonna start talking about, yo, Jay-Z, watch, they next. Watch him and Beyonce, yo, he gonna bring everybody down. No, that's something you would have did. That's why you said it. That's something you would have did. Because the first thing when it came out of your mouth, what life, Rico, yo, all right, what you got? What's the deal? I got everything. I got works on Jay-Z and everybody. That's something you would have did. Not Diddy. He held his head up high. He said, let's go. Let's go to trial. Let's go. What's up? The other dude, that one of his lawyers said, no, we're going to hold off. We're gonna wait a while. But you fired. Get out of here. Trying to get up out of here. I ain't do nothing wrong. Because he know what he did. He know what he did. And he held he 10 toes down. He ain't snitch on nobody. They say, oh, you got those 6 prosecutors? Yo, I'm going to hire 10 lawyers. What's up? I'm spending $10 million on my lawyers. Let's go. He had a lawyer that beat 2 Ricos in 1 year. What lawyer does that? Talk back to me. What lawyer does that? Beat 2 Rico cases. Right now, his statutes is all up. And yo, all the drug dealers is calling for him right now. All the drug dealers is calling for him right now. Hit that like button. Hit that like button. But you know what was so crazy? And like I said, when I first heard about all of this coming out in his arrest, the media is so dangerous, right? It tells you and teaches you what to think about. When it keeps talking about it all day, and then some of you on your Facebook pages be making these posts that you saved the photo from some other page that's just trying to get you to comment and make shares, because when you do the Facebook Meta, you get paid. When you post the stories, because I got Meta. I don't do it too much because I just felt like being there all day and engaging, the money wasn't adding up for me. And I was just like, look, I got too much time on my hands to do other things. So I stopped doing that and I got into this, right? I like talking. So all these people is making these fake pages and they putting all these fake information out, and then we run it, we take it, and we say this is true. So we see that, we see what's on the news, and we automatically run with it. We say, yo, Diddy's done. Diddy's done. So it was a brother that was giving all the information that he was giving all the information that he was down in the courthouse. Shout out to the brother. He got his podcast is Podcast for Soul. He don't know me, never met me, never promoted my channel, but I'm gonna promote his channel because you know why? He keep it 100. And he down there, hat, shirt with a tie, and he's in the courthouse. This is all the information I was getting from. And he was giving you all the direct examination from the prosecutors and a cross-examination from the defendants, from Diddy's lawyers. And I was getting all the information and I was getting all the truth. And I was like, yo, this case is bullcrap. Meanwhile, in the media, all you saw was all the anti-Diddy trolls that was posting nothing but the direct examination from the prosecutors. So every time you heard, oh, Cassie said this, you like, oh, he going down, yo, Cassie, oh, he did this, yo, he told the mother, yo, she can't get Cassie back unless he give her 20,000. Yo, that was extortion. But you didn't hear the fact that when the mother, he probably did say that under the influence because they kept him high. So sometimes, you know, being high like that works off your emotions. And she took out a loan on her house and sent the 20,000 to Diddy. And Diddy sent the check to his financial accountant, a bad boy, and say, yo, mail that back, man. I'm a billionaire. What the hell I want that for? This ain't about no letting her go. That's my woman. She's on the red carpet with me. She sleeps with me. I bought a house in LA. I bought her a house in New York. What I need your $20,000 for? It's my woman. That's your daughter, but that's my woman. She sleep with me, not you. And gave her back the money. You ain't hear about that though. But you heard Diddy was doing this and Diddy was doing that. And his lawyer was smashing every witness that came on the stand. Every witness. One guy said, yo, he may beat the court justice, but he ain't gonna beat the street justice. This man got armed security around him 24/7. You ain't hear about when they raided his house? No, they didn't find those guns in his house. They found it in the security booth that was locked. That man had AR-15s and guns. He had the whole arsenal in it. You ain't gonna roll. First of all, your money is different. You ain't gonna be rolling up on no Diddy on no street justice. Money different. He ain't even gonna be in a circle. You know why? He learned his lesson from Biggie. He learned this lesson from Biggie. He ain't even gonna put himself in that situation where he gotta be around street dudes talking about, yo, I'm gonna kill you. Like, listen, man, I got $100 million deals with this here and that here and $10 million. I ain't got time for no street justice and street. He don't even want to be around street dudes. His circle different. His money different. His women different. His clothes is different. He even eating different. It's no comparison, man. You ain't gonna give him no street justice. Even the COs in there not giving him no street justice because they hearing all the facts. Like right now, we heard all the facts. We heard all the facts. Now everybody is pro Diddy. The only ones that's anti Diddy is the ones that have been in domestic disputes and feel like he should be in jail because of what he did to Cassie. And as far as I'm concerned, the only thing that I know physical abuse that he did to Cassie was on that video. That could be the first and last time he ever put his hands on her. So she said different. She said it happened different times. I don't know, because she got caught in her own lies. Everybody else got caught in their own lies, saying they saw Cassie get hit here. They saw Cassie get hit there. Did you call 911? Well, see, what happened was I was afraid for my job. And I didn't want to do this. So, and some of them said I got molested, but I came back to work because of my job. Let me tell you something, man. You lying. Because if somebody said they touched me the wrong way, male or female, I'm out. Ain't no way in the world. Because first of all, I'm going in your mouth. I don't care how much money you got. You do something to me on a sexual man, I'm going in your mouth. Or I'm going straight to civil court. I'm not a guy that's gonna put somebody in handcuffs. Or I'm gonna just say, yo, listen, you're gonna give me something, or we going to civil court. Just like Cassie did. She didn't call 911. She didn't call the police. She went to straight to civil court. That's not snitching. I mean, you got lawsuits in. I know I got one in. I mean, that's not snitching. That's business. That's what people do. You get in a car accident, what you do? You call your lawyer, right? All right, I rest my case. That ain't snitching. Know what I mean? Diddy coming home, man. And a lot of y'all mad about that. And he gonna reclaim everything he reclaimed. You know why? Because you really don't care. You just waiting for the next big story to come up. And that's how the media do it. Just like the situation with Cardi B right now. Cardi B got broken up with Offset because Cardi B claimed Offset was cheating, but she been knew he was cheating. First of all, one thing about male celebrities, I heard Magic Johnson said this, and this is how he got contracted with HIV. He said, it's very hard for me not to cheat. It's very hard for any NFL or NBA player. It's hard for us not to cheat because these women will find their way into your hotel room. And Magic Johnson said he used to come to his hotel room after the game. He had no plans of going out with no one. He done played the whole game. He's tired. He opened his hotel room and there's 3 naked women in his bed took him out. We here for you, Magic. How many times a man gonna turn around and say no? That is just hard. Especially if you're on the road away from your wife for about 6 months. Would you actually think, now I know what you're saying, oh, you gotta be strong. You can't have sex if I'm home and I'm doing, that's you. And some of y'all lying. Some of y'all, when your man is gone, especially in jail, you're having sex. So stop lying. That's like the whole Remy situation. Oh, Papoose wasn't sexually loyal. He was out there for 8 years. He was cheating. So wouldn't you? Wouldn't you? You think you gonna be sexually loyal? I'm talking about not emotionally loyal. Sexually loyal for 8 years? Stop lying. Stop lying. First couple of months, man, somebody smoking your boots. You lying. Because I had been home and I've been with women who man was in jail and they was doing their thing, hard body. But they was getting up every week and they was still seeing their man. They was still sending those packages. They was still sending their money, but they had needs. So, you know, Cardi situation, I think all that stemmed from her record sales. You know what I'm saying? It stemmed from her record sales. Yeah, we're going to move on a little bit from Diddy. You know, might come back. But Cardi pushed herself out there because Cardi knows how to sell. She was on Love and Hip Hop. She stood out. She knew that she had to create a controversy on Love and Hip Hop to stand out. Then she started rapping. Then she tried to get a deal. Nobody wanted to give her a deal. Y'all remember? She tried to get with DJ Self, the promoter. DJ Self at that time, he was the hottest thing on High 97 at midnight. She stepped out. Yeah, she stepped out. He was the hardest thing at nighttime, midnight, DJ Self, the winning guard. And he was on Love and Hip Hop, smashing Cardi B because she was trying to get on the radio. She's trying to get on the radio, just like some women, they see the dudes in the street that's hustling and getting their money. They think they're going to try to get with the broke dude? No, they're going to try to get with the dude that got the money. And they know what he want, and he know what she want. One hand wash the other. That's how that go. So my man Offset, he's on tour. The Amigos, one of the biggest groups. Of course he's smashing. That's hard. Especially if you already had sex with a woman 1,000 times, it becomes old coochie. That don't mean you don't love her, but they said, women say ain't no good penis like new penis, and men say the same thing. Well, not the penis, but the coochie part. They say ain't no new coochie like, ain't no coochie like new coochie. And my man had a time of his life. Some of y'all will look at Cardi and be like, nah, how could you do that to Cardi? You wildin', look at Cardi. And he had that 1,000 ways upside down. He's tired of that. He done threw babies in that. He done had that in so many ways. She probably done did some things that's so unspeakable that make Diddy case look crazy. You know what I'm saying? And make his case look crazy like Diddy. That ain't nothing what you doing. Cardi, man, she's a Boricua. Not stereotyping, but they say, you know, certain ethnic backgrounds get more freaky, just like y'all hear a lot of white girls are freaky, more than black girls. That's why a lot of black dudes want to be with white girls. So Cardi now, she's in the media because her album is coming out. So she get with this dude. My protection. You see if I hear my protection? Hey, calm down. It's all right. It's all right. Put your teeth away. Put your teeth away. You too, put your teeth away. Calm down. My cat in the corner like this, all black, that's watching, quiet. You know what I'm saying? I'm protected. I don't need no gun. I got my animals. But hey, all right, that's it. Calm down. You know what I'm saying? Go give you some steak and eggs later on. You know? So Cardi knows her album is coming out. She get with this dude, Stephon Diggs, the player. Everybody said he was a player from the door. Even his teammates. We all knew that. She got with this brother. And she put herself in the limelight every single day. Like they actually been with each other every single day. And I don't think they have been with each other every single day because he got practice. She got studio time. They get with each other when they get with each other. As a matter of fact, they even said it was a rumor that he was like, yo, you got to stop posting someone like we be together like that when we don't. And she tried to make it seem like she's happy, she's smiling. And y'all ran with it, said Offset is mad. You really think Offset is mad? Offset is doing his thing. He might be upset that the relationship is over because there's a broken home. He's not able to wake up to his sons. You know what I'm saying? Or I believe his son or his daughter. I pretty much say his children. He's not able to wake up to them every day as a father. So he's living somewhere else. And y'all thinking that he's hurt and Cardi's moved on and she's happy. The relationship lasted, what, 6 months? Serious? Some people have longer relationships in prison. And she don't even look the same. She got all that medical surgery. The teeth look like this. Every time she talk, it look like, I don't know, like she got, you know how you bite the orange and you suck on the orange and you got that yellow? That's how her teeth look white though. It looks weird. And this dude done signed a $65.2 million contract with the NFL. This dude got money. Cardi feels like the man is handsome. She's free. She gonna get Offset mad and post her relationship all over social media. And she got an album that's coming out. I mean, why post your relationship all over social media if it's new? Why? Because it draws attention. This is all promotion. Now her album dropped. They allegedly said it is about to go platinum or went platinum. I don't know what that means because artists don't get money off of platinum sales. What's platinum to me? What's platinum to you? Because nobody's buying CDs no more. They don't make, matter of fact, they don't even make CDs no more, or do they? I know some people on the street selling the old CDs for like $2. They don't make cassette tapes no more unless you're in prison in the state penitentiary in New York. They download and they streaming, they stealing your music. So I don't see how you making any money off of that. You make your money on tour. When you go out overseas, that's how you get your money. Not off of no sales or what sales. They lying to you. They gassing you up. Cardi B, she's top, she's #1 on the Billboard. She should be. Ain't no other female rappers is out with a new album. You know anybody? Put it in the comments. Let me know. I'm not hating, but I know what promotion is. Controversy sells. Tupac would know, well, he was good with that. He started running with the Biggie, anti-Biggie, and Bad Boy thing. He started naming real street dudes who would slap the hell out of him, but he was overseas. And we sucked up into that. And we was like, yo, what's beef on the wax? Yo, let's get the tapes, yo. But Pac wasn't going to really roll down on none of these dudes and pull out no gun. It was just controversy sells. And Cardi knows that. Remy knows that. It's interesting. I don't even see Remy posting her man. Yo, that's crazy that he keep getting caught cheating, right? But I think in that relationship, to be honest, I think in that relationship, Remy needed Easy the Block Captain and Easy the Block Captain needed Remy. Because Remy was in a hole. She was in debt. And Easy the Block Captain, he was the hottest dude coming up in URL. And she had her own league. And, you know, she threw that thing on him. Said, come over here. I got you. And he became the face of an all-female league. Like Geechee the Block Cat, Geechee Gotti said, with all these male leagues around here, how you become the face of an all-female league? Because that coochie called him. You know, he was a kid, teenager, grew up watching Remy, and he saw opportunity like, yo, I could get to smash my fantasy. And he did it. You know what I'm saying? She got him over there. You know, Pat played the audio, and she said, "Yo, he got dirt on me. He got pictures of me. I don't know how she let that happen, but she let it happen. And he even was on the video, I mean, on audio saying, yo, he got pictures of her. He's like, yo, I make this thing move. She do what I say. So she was trying to protect her image because he had all the videos and all that, but she was still enjoying, you know what I'm saying, her orgasm. And he was coming up. Now he got his orderly. He don't need Remy no more. He's up. But that controversy blew up. Now Remy's not in the hole no more. Remy's not in the hole no more. The only bad thing about that situation, Easy to Block Captain, he's losing down there every battle. No, excuse me. He's losing every battle. I mean, they are smashing him bad. I ain't even, when the last time you saw Easy Block Captain battle? There you go. I rest my case. But see, controversy sells. This is what the media promotes. You know what I'm saying? This is what the media promotes. Same thing with Bill Cosby. This is what the media promotes. Controversy. We went at Bill Cosby too. Yo, look what he did. He did this. That was in 2002. They dismissed it. He went after NBC again. They said this Negro won't stay in his place. And they came after him. This time they destroyed him. To the point he had to stay in jail to teach him a lesson. They took his civil case statements when he settled out of court. They took his civil case statement and used it in a criminal proceed. This is when Trump was first in office. You know how them racist people are right there. And his man, I forgot the dude name that was the head of the government, the federal actual district attorney that was down with Trump, right? And he used it in the federal criminal proceeding, and that's how Bill Cosby was found guilty. They had no other evidence. They had to take what he admitted at civil court. These are two different entities, and found him guilty and did him 7 years. Once Trump and them all got out of office, he got his appeal and he got out because you can't do that. Can't use that against him. And he got out. All these people lied. Now Bill slipped out and he went in the corner. You don't hear nothing. You know why? Because just like P. Diddy, all his so-called friends turned their back. All his secret society, those fraternities turned their back. The Boulets, they turned their back. The same people that turned their back on Dr. Martin Luther King and they blew his throat out, turned their back. While 100 cities went on fire, you ain't hear nothing about no Boulets say anything. Now they just want to talk about the memory of Dr. Martin Luther King. While on a Jewish network. Who betraying who? See, this is why Cat Williams, man. This is why Cat Williams said what he said. He said the gatekeepers, these are the gatekeepers. These secret societies, these college fraternities. And I know what you're saying. Nah, come on. Not my frat, not my, oh yeah? Really? You're not a secret society? So you go around and you tell your friends about your fraternity? You talk about the initiation? No, you do this, right? Secret society. That's a secret society. I can't even say gangbangers is a secret society because they be on the rap. They put all their business out there. You know what I'm saying? They put all their business on the rap. So I can't even say that. Boulets, that was the first fraternity. Those were the first slaves who was freed and was able and allowed to go get an education. And they formed their own secret society. And this is who Cat Williams is talking about. All those people he mentioned, like Steve Harvey, D.L. Hughley, Cedric the Entertainer, all of them is in fraternities. These are gatekeepers. You know what I'm saying? These are the ones that helped Diddy get into the door. You know what I mean? And when Diddy started talking about he wanted to start his own black political party, what? This Negro say he about to violate the Boulets, now secret society. We house Negroes what? We house Negroes for centuries, boy. You don't know our history? We the ones that kept the niggas in the field while we was in the house. This goes back. We got to show Diddy what it's all about. Eric Adams is a Boulay. Then he give Diddy the key. He took the key back. You can have it. That key don't mean nothing. That's just an image. That's just a, yo, we got the key to the city. Please, you ain't got nothing. You ain't got nothing. Your people ain't even got nothing. The Chinese restaurants got more than us. You know what I'm saying? But this is what they do. You know what I'm saying? Now they want to come at Tyler. They want to come at Tyler Perry. It was all right. It was all right when Tyler is making movies discriminating against his people, whether we criticize it. The brother said, you know, most women raised him, so he sees things in a female aspect. Some say he's gay, maybe he is, maybe he's bisexual. It's not my business. I mean, I don't know if he is. I don't know why he's hiding it. This is, in this day and time, you can actually say that and still be a gangster. When I was growing up, you had to really hide that thing. You couldn't say you was a homosexual. You couldn't say you was a lesbian when I was growing up. Your family will shun you. Now you could go get breast implants and everything. You know what I'm saying? And be proud about it and come out in the open and be a celebrity. You couldn't do that when you was a celebrity. You know what I'm saying? The guy George Jefferson, he kept that hidden for over 20 years. He couldn't say that back then. They would have fired him. But Tyler, he decided to say, unlike Hollywood, I made more black millionaires and discovered more actors and made them into millionaires than Hollywood combined with black people. And he got his own studios where they don't even have to go to Hollywood. Check his shows out. Most of them you don't even know. And he getting millions. He's opening the door. I like what he's doing. He's tiptoeing. He's but so much he could say, but so much he could do. Because at the end of the day, the Caucasian Jews, they got to distribute his stuff. They got to promote his stuff. So he still kind of work with them. See, one of the things our natural enemies won't do is let us have total freedom to do what we want to do. They always want to live off our struggle because they can't survive on their own. This is why the FBA said we built everything. They can't survive without us. You know, in the Bible, you Bible thumpers, is a story of Rebecca. And she gave birth to Esau and Jacob. And in her womb, they said that she was having twins, but they said she had two peoples, two nations. They said two children. They said peoples. This is a metaphor. It's an allegorical. And they was fighting against each other. You know what I'm saying? And eventually when she gave birth, Esau came out and he had hair. He was red, you know. He was the original man. And the child Jacob, he held on to Esau's heel when he came out because he couldn't live without him. He always had to hold on to him. You know what I'm saying? I'm getting somewhere with this. And as time went on, you know, Jacob was jealous of Esau because Esau was the favorite. You know, his father loved him. He got more attention. He was more of the breadwinner because he was the original baby. He was the original man. And then one day, Rebecca decided to conspire into stealing Esau's blessing. And his father couldn't see, he was blind, you know, but he wasn't really feeling Jacob because Jacob, you know, he was always causing trouble. He was always causing trouble and stuff, you know. Everywhere he went, like, it was like trouble found him. Sounds like some people you know. So the mother told him, he said, listen, Esau went out to go hunt and bring some food back for your father because your father's going to give him your blessing, right? So he said, well, I don't know how I'm going to do that because he knows my voice. I don't feel, my skin don't feel like Esau. See, they got different skin. They got different textures. Coming to some. And she was like, don't worry about it. Go out there and get these bushes and these leaves, and I'm making something where I'm going to coat your whole skin and make it feels like Esau. He's like, I don't know if it's going to work because of my voice. So don't worry about it. He blind. He can't see. All he got to do is touch you. He going to feel the same touch. And they did that. So when it was time for Jacob to go to get the blessings and steal it from Esau, the father was kind of skeptical because he's going to see, you blind. He's like, yo, that sounds like Jacob, man. He's like, nah, Jacob, he's a master deceiver. He's like, nah, father, it's me. It's Esau. He can't feel me. So he felt him. He said, oh, okay. And he gave him his blessings from God. This is his last blessing. So when Esau came back on the scene, Esau was like, yo, I'm here. I got your food, Pops. What's up? Yo, let me get your blessings. And he was like, yo, hold up. What you mean? I gave you my blessings. Like, nah, you ain't give me no blessings. I just got here. He was like, oh, he realized he was deceived. See, Jacob stole Esau's birthright. So now it makes it seem like Jacob created everything and made everything. Later on in the Bible, Jacob turned his name to Israel. You know a country like that? You know some Jews that say that these ain't the original Jews? You know some people in America that said they made the stoplight and everything, and they had the ingredients for the shuttle to go into Mars, and somebody stole their ingredients, somebody stole their birthright. You ever grew up and you watched the 10 Commandments and you saw a white Moses? You ever saw the story of Jesus and you saw a white Jesus? Somebody stole somebody's birthright? See, it can't live without people like that. And this is why they don't want people like Diddy in power. They don't want Tyler and Perry in power. Now they got a sexual lawsuit against him talking about he was playing with somebody. Come on, man. He was playing. He did some sexual advances and he won $260 million. And then he went back to work. Yeah, it ain't orange juice, it's water. I like to put my water in there and put it in a deep freezer. I know some of you like, oh, that's tap water. What's the difference between tap water and water in the store? It ain't real. They putting chemicals in that. You want some real water? Go to Honduras and get you some real spring water. That water in the store is not real spring water. You don't believe me? Check out the brother Dr. C. Go on YouTube and pull up Dr. Sebi. As a matter of fact, Nipsey Hussle used to talk about him a lot. As a matter of fact, Lisa Left Eye from TLC talked about him a lot. Talked about how she was getting healed from the sickness, but this brother was teaching people on how to eat to live, because a lot of us is not taught how to eat to live. You taught how to have sex. You taught how to read. You taught how to drive. You taught how to eat, but you was never taught how to eat to live. So you eat all the bad stuff, and by the time you turn 25, you got high blood pressure. But they killed that brother off, and they said it's documents that he actually cured people from HIV, Magic Johnson, and this is why it doesn't show up in his system no more. But Dr. CB had to sign an NDA. There's a whole investigation with that. They even had the brother on trial. He brought all the witnesses to say he cured HIV, and mysteriously they put him in jail, and they was trying to poison. They said a brother actually told his family, Dr. CB said, that a brother came up to him and said, yo, you really need help and got to get out of here, because they putting me to put poison in your food. Don't eat the food. And he died in prison from starvation. He didn't eat the food. Lisa Left Eye Lopez, she was the first one that was coming out into media talking about him. Go ahead, pull it up. So on YouTube, pull it up. And mysteriously, she had a car accident and everybody survived except her. She had a broken neck. She had a broken neck, huh? All right. Okay. Nipsey Hussle was talking about him hard body too. And mysteriously, Nipsey Hussle got murdered. But it was among other things with Nipsey, but somebody had to push those buttons. They, you know, yeah, every time somebody, a person of color, is getting too powerful, and they, you know, they get to a height where Diddy got, because you know, we know Diddy was not an angel. We hear about the music industry. We hear about what all the record labels. I mean, not the record label. We hear about all the record contracts that he had, and people lost their publishing rights, and you know, and they masters. But we saw what's love got to do with it. We saw the Five Heartbeats. We saw the Temptations. We saw the story about James Brown, and we saw how everybody was getting robbed, and you still signing bad contracts. You mean to tell me if I put a contract in front of you, you're not going to get your lawyer to read it? Then that's your fault. You're being stupid. You stupid, dumb, or ignorant. You have to pick one. That's your fault. And the lie say, yeah, 20 years later, we got our masters back. Yo, Diddy did us wrong. No, you just was lazy and you didn't want to read your contract, but you on the music talking about you selling all the cocaine. I thought you was that smart. But we found out one was going to private school, and you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? They had all this so-called education, but they didn't have an education enough to read their contract. Diddy is not your friend. Record labels and owners is this there for you to make it comfortable for you to sign and make you carry on with your work so you can make millions for them. This is what drug dealers do, especially in an organization. They want to make sure you're comfortable and you don't defect, because they need you to keep the business going on. So they make sure you live comfortable. And then you feel like these people owe you something, like Sean. Yo, if it was, I ain't gonna lie, Diddy did him dirty, but this is your boss. This is not your friend. And Diddy don't owe you nothing. You should have had your money up. You was talking a whole lot of gangster stuff in your songs, but when it came down to it in the courtroom, you was taking the train to the courts. You know what Diddy did? Diddy had high-profile lawyers or high-priced lawyers, and he paid people like he did with the Free Diddy shirts. He paid them back then to have signs of Free Diddy. Don't go to war unless you got your money right. That's what Tupac said, right? Then he said, I got my money right. It's time to go to war. Don't go to war unless you got your money right. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, Diddy and Tyler, they get to this certain plateau in their career, and then they see the truth. Because the truth is hidden. They watch you. You say it's like the fraternity in college, they watch you. Gangbangers, they watch you. Organizations, they watch you. And they watch your character and they say, okay, this looks like a good prospect right here. And then they tap you. Yo, listen, you want to go further in life? And Jay-Z may turn around like, yeah, I want to get further right. All right, this is what we need you to do. We need you to get rid of Dame Dash and Biggs, because they thinking too pro-black. They want to be independent and they don't want no white man running them. And this is what we're going to do, Jay. We're going to give you all your publishing right. Yeah, because Jay ain't had none of that publishing right. All that smart talk he ain't had none of that. And he said, well, what I got to do, get rid of them. We're going to give you all your publishing right, and you sign the Def Jam. We're going to make you president. Who goes from a CEO to a president? Go ahead and think about it. Who goes from the top boss or owning something to working for somebody at an office at another label? What? That don't even sound right. But they was gearing him up. Now he's the face of everything in the black community. Yo, Jay-Z about to open up a casino. You gonna fall for that. We're in Coney Island. Yo, he in the hood. We fell for that with the Barclays Center. Did you know black people couldn't even get a job at the Barclays Center? I was one of them. They wanted us, after they was protesting. So they said, this is what they said. They said, okay, well, because I had just came home. This was 2010. 2010 or around 2000. No, actually 2010. And they said they was starting construction. So black people start, putting up a fight about it in the community. So they said, okay. Right? They said, what we're going to do is we're going to open up a school so they could pass an academic course in order to work. So they gave us tape tests and stuff like that from like GED for what? I gotta pass the test about reading and math in order to work? What does that have to do with throwing the garbage out and doing demolition work? But they knew a lot of people of color was uneducated and we didn't know summaries and main ideas and conclusions when it comes to reading. A lot of us is not good in math. Let's keep it real. A lot of black people, they don't like math because white folks make it complicated. They created the education. Even today, the math is totally different from when I grew up. They make it more confusing. I remember when I was helping my daughters with a math question and I was like, what in the hell? And they was like, Daddy, you don't know that? It made me feel a little stupid. I was like, what the hell? But what they do is they make it different. They design it different. Think about it. Who controls the education? Not us. You got to do research. The Rockefellers and the Rothschild controls the education of the world. That's why when you go to school, you're not taught to run a business and own a business. You're taught to learn business so you can work for other people who has business. That's why you got people like Jay-Z in a certain position that don't have that sort of education, but he got people with that education working for him. So back to me. Hit that like button. I'm talking a lot, ain't I? Hit that like button. But then, back to Jay-Z. So, they tell him, okay, you got the Barclay. We like, yo, Jay-Z bought the Barclay Center to the hood, and they put his face on it. And the rich and the powerful sit back. And we run there and we spend all our money. Then Jay-Z get it, and then they force him out of the deal. And they say, we're going to give you this type of money. And next thing you know, he said, Jay-Z sold his stocks. Forced him out. Vitamin water. Yo, 50 got vitamin water. Yo, Disney bought it out. Forced him out. Gave him 100 million. Get out of here. This is what they do. Even 50 said with the Diego, he said, yo, because he was coming out hard with Diddy with that, right? And then he said, after I heard the situation with Diego, he said, I kind of like changed my mind. That's when he stopped trolling. He started trolling them now once the baby mother thing came out. But before, right after that Diego situation, 50 got quiet. He said, yo, I was making them 60 million a year off of alcohol. I didn't even know he had interest in that. And he said, one thing about it's on YouTube, check it out. He said, 50 said, quote, he said, one thing about liquor companies like that and people with white people in power like that is they don't never want us to own anything. They'll just want us to work for them. They'll give you all the millions you want, but you can't own nothing. See, owning is legacy. When you own something and you pass it down to your family. You pass it down to generations. That's why the Rothschild, they got like a pyramid scheme where they can't even go broke. The great-great-great-grandfather designed the pyramid scheme to the point, like, I can't even break it down to you. Like, it's crazy. Like, they can never go broke with their interests. You know what I mean? The Hiltons, they can never go broke. The Rothschilds never go broke. The Rothschilds own the bank. They own the Federal Reserve. They own 90% of the banks in the world. They ain't trying to let us get us so far. So when you get to Diddy, you get into that level and they start opening more doors and you feel like you want to get independent and you want to start owning something, somebody will pull you to the side. Slow down, Negro. What you mean? They'll send your own. You gotta chill out. What you mean chill out? You ruffling the little feathers, man. What you mean? I'm just trying to do me. I'm trying to get that money. And they'll say, hold on now, getting a call. And they'll say, listen, you ruffling a couple of feathers. Can't be talking that independent stuff, We got deals. You know what I'm saying? This is how they came at Kanye. See, when Kanye got to that level, the door started opening and he was up there. He was rubbing shoulders with Jay-Z. Remember? Yeah, it was like he was a billionaire. He got Kim Kardashian and he was the man. And then he got to a certain level where he started to see the truth. And he was like, nah, man, I ain't no slave, man. Now I'm doing what I want to do. I'm going to say what I want to say. Can't control my mouth. And then they said Adidas dropped him because he was on, what's that, Drink Champs? And he was like, yo, Adidas could drop me right now. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. He wanted them to do that. And they said, yo, they dropped him. You said, yo, he's stupid. No, they broke their contract. They got to give him millions behind breaking the contract. You got to know about that business. And then after that, they said, oh, he's no longer a billionaire. He's worth 400,000. Worth 400,000. He's still a billionaire. He got 10% of Kim Kardashian's business. They was married. All that they built together, he got 10%. He's a billionaire. He's still a billionaire. He's still a billionaire. But they said, no, he worth 400,000. Worth to who? That's the question you got to ask. Who is he worth to? You hear Cardi B right now. Cardi B is worth 100 or some million. You're like, yo, she getting it. No, who you're worth to? You working for somebody. You're worth something to different businesses and people behind the scenes. That's where you're worth at. So once Adidas dropped him, he went down to 400,000. This is what 400 million. This is what you're worth. This is what you're worth. Kanye don't care. Like, man, I don't care. You broke that contract. You're gonna pay me millions. They keep it quiet. Yeah, we're gonna pay you. Just calm down. We're gonna pay you. It's like with Diddy, with Diego. After Ciroc, he said, nah, you can have Ciroc. He had percentages. I want my own. I want Diego. They said, all right, we're going to give Diddy his own liquor. They took that gave and they slowed it down so he couldn't produce his alcohol fast enough. Then they bottled his alcohol in the ghetto and not universal. And he went hands on. As you seen through the trial, they said, Diddy, man, it's like a workaholic. Especially with you doing all of that and you getting high, like you on uppers. You like, yo, I'm going to get my grind because it works on your emotions. So if you're a hustler and you always hustling and you doing drugs, especially that type of drug, you up all day. We learned that from the college graduates. They took E's. This to stay up at night because in college you party from Monday to Sunday, and this is why they say in college the people that's in the classroom or sitting next to you ain't gonna be there for the second semester because there's parties in every dorm from Monday to Sunday. So after partying, they taking all these E's. They got to stay up at night and do their essays. So when Diddy found out what was going on, he cracked down on them. Like, what? Lawsuit. What happened? $1 billion settlement. My man. Yo, you can't, Diddy, man. Yo, I salute that brother, man. He went up against the powerful. Diego runs 180 distributions. No, they run distributions throughout 180 countries. That's a very powerful network, a very powerful company. They pay politicians off. Politicians, like the United States government politicians, who can get you into a federal indictment where you be in jail and on trial talking about baby oil and astroglides. You know what I'm saying? How you get on the RICO case with baby oil and astroglides? Come on, man. And they seen that. You know, he get too big for his bridge. You got to slow that Negro down. They did that to Suge Knight, Jay Prince, and Irv Gotti. They wanted to make a coalition where they didn't need no white folks and they wanted to do their own distribution. The feds came for Jay Prince. Suge Knight got a 9-year violation, and Irv Gotti got caught up in a RICO with Supreme all in 1 year. Talk back to me. And Jay Prince did an interview. He said, yo, because somebody went out there out of our private meeting and went on the radio and started talking about our discussion. The white people came after him. What? No, we ain't gonna hear that. That's just like Malcolm. Y'all thinking Nation of Islam killed him. But y'all don't see in the movie who was following him on the camel in in Egypt. Who was following him that was white? See, Malcolm took everything that he was talking about in America, he took it universal. He was bringing the United States of America to the universal courts. They said, oh no, this Negro got to go now. He's taking this thing outside the country. Did you know Malcolm got poisoned in Egypt? They don't leave that. They left all that out. So you gotta do research. But you know, a lot of us ain't gonna read because now we caught up in social media. All day we on a goddamn phone, just about a bunch of gossip. I know because I see it too. I get caught up sometimes. I'll be like, yo, listen. I be told them, I'll be like, yo, listen, look what's going on over here. But you know, I got knowledge of self, so they can't blind me too much. So I see the trickery, I see the fuckery, you know, and I don't get caught up too much in that. So I see the foolishness that's going on. So like I said, you know, when you get powerful as a black person and you try to separate yourself from your oppressor, your former slave master, and you want to do something positive, that's when they come for you. Especially if you get too big. Like Pac, when he got big and he went to jail, and they say, yo, they took him out of population because, yo, he was too influential. This was Pac before Machiavelli. Go back and listen to all those Me Against the World. He was talking pro-black stuff, talking about unifying his people. Don't get me wrong, he had a little gangster stuff, he had a little street stuff, but he was talking about, you know, Brenda's got a baby, and keep your head up, talking to the sisters, keep your head up. He has songs for black women to make you proud. So when he stepped up in the prison system in Clinton, and they knew what kind of influence he had as a black man, get that Negro out of here. Put him in Agmaseg, which means you separated from population. No, he's a threat. He's a threat because they don't want no revolution. You know what I'm saying? Jacob can't let go. Because once Jacob let go, man, it's over. We outpopulate them 11-1. That means every time one of us die, at least 11 to 15 babies are born a day. And we doing it by accident. We ain't even trying. We just doing it by accident because we just you know outpopulate people. And now, since they try to come with technology to make us kill each other quicker by implementing the guns and the drugs in the community, we start having babies. God start making us have babies more younger. You don't believe me? Check out the grandmothers right now. Check out the grandmothers right now. Walking around with their pedicure, pretty toes, and they got the poom shorts. They got the poom shorts looking like, you know what I'm saying, they 45 looking like they 35. They got the BBLs. These grandmothers are different today. These ain't your ordinary grandmothers. I mean, some of them can't cook nowadays, but you know what I'm saying? They're different grandma, even the grandfathers. Grandfathers wearing J's. They ain't wearing them hard bottom shoes. Wearing the fitted hats with the New York on it. These are different grandfathers right now. I'm a grandfather. I don't talk like my great grandfather or my grandfather. I ain't walking around talking about my back hurt. Man, I get sit in that bedroom, baby. I'm different. You know what I'm saying? This is how God made us. But look, I don't want to hold y'all too much. You know, I want to say thank you for listening. Thank you for tuning in. You know what I'm saying? I'm definitely going to come back again. You know what I'm saying? Tell a friend about this channel. God bless y'all. Thank y'all for listening. Y'all have a good night. Later.